Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Marko tekee maalin! Sebastian Arango ja tekee sen maalin!
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
We've played so long together, like every year. I think we're getting better, and chemistry builds up, and it shows on the ice, I think.
Probably gonna be a better final than last year. 4-0 was kind of huge disappointment for us, but I think now we are overall better team. We have more variation, hard to defend.
We've always had the main core. Usually the lefty is what has changed in the past as well. So of course I think that's the most important thing, to build chemistry every year.
I think I'm kind of thrilled to see what we can do at Villa in the final as well, because our hopes are up. Like, we think we could beat them. Like, there is no team that in good day we couldn't beat, and yeah, let's create some hype to the finals.
Our final, second year in a row again, defending champions in Philadelphia, a rematch against H-Reds. You are not going to want to miss that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the season finale of the ECL Elite Division Season 12. Today, we crown a champion. I am Tugi, joined as always by my broadcast partner in one, Mr. Sin, for the win. And what a day this promises to be, Sin, after the shocking results of yesterday's opening 3 games in this best of 7. The script has been flipped. It is a rematch of last year's final, as you heard in that incredible opening package there. Our defending champions in Philadelphia, they swept H-Reds last year. And Sin, as people can see right up in that corner there, again, a shocking turn of events. It is a 3-0 lead for H-Reds as we enter play today.
Yeah, H-Reds on the precipice of greatness, essentially. And as he's mentioned, flipping that script, 1 win away from crowning themselves as the champions. We're either going to see them come away and, be the champions for the first time, supplanting Philadelphia, or we might see the most monumental comeback in NHL gamer history. No matter what, it's going to be exciting. No matter what, these teams are going to play hard till the end, and it's going to be close. And really, I mean, 2 one-goal games, 2 overtimes so far. Things are getting pretty chippy out there.
Absolutely. Aside from a blowout in game number 2, this series has been incredibly close as we look into setting the stage for you here in the action that's to come here in just a little bit. Of course, again, a friendly reminder, you would have seen it off the top. A big shout out to our friends at Kevlan Lockritzy, Wilhelm as well. You would have seen the ads for the Finns in chat. Keep in mind the Wilhelm Street Hockey League, essentially sthockey.com. Signups for the Finns, use code Wilhelm for a 50% entry fee cut. And of course, as well, for the Finns in chat, our friends at Viaplay are giving away more codes today in chat. So keep an eye on that as well for a free month's worth of Viaplay. So again, a big thank you to our particular sponsors there. Sin, let's take one more look at the bracket here. This will likely be the final time that we take a look at this bracket without having somebody in that final spot. Again, H-Reds up 3-0 in this series, and they are oh so close. 1 win is all they need. They have 4 opportunities to get it done. And Sin, of course, the prize pool, they will be 10k euros richer. 6 months of Viaplay to each and every member of the team. And they will also get that lovely trophy that is up for grabs as well. I have been told it is in the general vicinity of the offices that they are played in. The team has not allowed the trophy to enter the building. They are very focused. They don't want to see it. They don't want to think about it until the job is done.
I mean, very smart. Smart by them, maybe a bit superstition, but as in real sports, I mean, the mental side of things is just as important as the performance itself. And for H-Reds, I mean, they got to be focused on the task at hand. 1 win is all they need. But each game that they may or may not drop, if they drop 1, if they drop 2, all of a sudden that 4th win that you need becomes harder and harder. It gets in your head. And a team like Philadelphia will continue to build on any sort of little success that they have. It's a different day here. Philadelphia, we could be seeing a different team. And for their sake, they hope that to see that out of themselves, because H-Reds played probably the best hockey that we've ever seen them play and perhaps have ever seen here on NHL Gamer. They were phenomenal and near perfect throughout those first 2 games. And they're going to have to do that one more time to come away and be crowned the champions.
Again, Philadelphia looking to become the first ever back-to-back champions in the Elite Division. They've made the finals every single year since Season 7. Again, it is Season 12. H-Reds on the other side looking to claim their first championship as a unit. Not to mention someone like Nikki Dangles would be the first ever cover boy for a season to win the title. So history will be made tonight one way or another. Let's get you a look at the team stats thus far here in the postseason, although they will be a little bit more skewed after yesterday's results. And again, thanks to that unbelievable Game 2 performance for H-Reds. Again, for those that missed it, a 6-0 victory. And really, Sin, that summed up the struggles yesterday. H-Reds completely shut down one of the best defensive, and one of the best offensive, for that matter, teams in the world in Philadelphia. Philly with just 1 goal. They started off the scoring in Game 1 and have not scored since. Hence, these stats looking as one-sided as they do.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we looked at these and we're like, this is about as even as a matchup as you can get. And today, when you're looking at it, H-Red's the clear advantage. The goals for to goals against, the ratio is massive. The power plays improved. Philadelphia gave him plenty of chances. That's one thing they'll have to clean up. And of course, even the penalty kill for H-Reds, I believe in that, well, yeah, was perfect. So it's H-Reds, again, those first 3 games were absolutely incredible by them. Some of the best hockey we've ever seen once again. And Philadelphia will have their work cut out for them to get back into it here.
Absolutely. Now, heading into the action yesterday, it was the 6 men on each side that you would have expected to see. And Sin, as we get a look at the team lineups here tonight, it is exactly the same. You get a look here at the rooms, of course, the teams together. You see Philadelphia getting a warm-up game in there right now. And obviously, too, that was a big question for us heading into this is, what is that mental side of things? How many games do you get in there aside from a warm-up game, knowing that you have this big of a challenge in front of you? Again, here are the squads today, the same as yesterday. No changes for Philadelphia, which really could have been expected. They're going to stick with this team, do or die situations, of course. But for H-Reds, the Filipoika, the Captain Benito, and Nikki Dangles on the right-hand side. Domi and King of Apes on defense. Phase between the pipes. For Phila, of course, it's Playmaker, the Captain Potsloff, and Eki. Teemu Loimu on defense. Kape, the goaltender here. Sint, when talking about the head-to-head matchups, as we always do, we start off with the battle of the centers. And, of course, in this instance, again, it is the battle of the captains. And bottom line is, Benito had a dominant start to this series. Not just, of course, on the scoreboard with a 4-goal game in game number 2, but at times as well, dominant on the draw.
Yeah, that third game, he was phenomenal in the dot, winning all kinds of key faceoffs, and really, I think almost doubling up Potsloff when it came to wins in on the faceoffs. And yeah, you said it, his performance in all 3 games, but especially that second game, he was incredible. 4 goals, and I think they're all the last 4 goals scored, so a natural hat trick. And as the center, being able to keep finding himself on breakaways like that is a feat in itself, but also always getting back on the defensive end of things. He was incredible, and Potsloff's going to have to try to match that, and it'll start in the faceoff dot. You know, he's got to be better in that regard. I'm sure Philadelphia would agree. All of them, their team has to be better. All the individuals have to be better, and so it's really going to start there. Simplify the game. Focus on the little things as a center, and start giving your team, you know, those steps in the right direction to get some W's.
Now, much like yesterday as well, Sin and I not alone on this particular broadcast. Our good pal and one, Martindale, was able to get a word with Benito after yesterday's action. Connor, take it away.
Hi again. Welcome back to another interview, this time with Benito from H-Reds. Well, I guess one could say that not only did you guys work on your weaknesses from the previous finals, but that you mastered what were once negatives in your game. Your team's wheel line defense is perhaps the most improved and is obviously frustrating Philadelphia, and that's not even touching the obviously more aggressive forecheck you guys have employed to great success. Did you know yourself going in that it would lead to this much domination, or are you surprised at the improvement that you've shown?
Of course, I trust our team that we can play like that, like we showed, but I was still surprised how well we made Phila's attack so hard for them. Yeah.
I mean, of course, finals of any tournament are rarely this simple, and I'm sure we all expect Philadelphia to adjust and try to exploit something else in your game to try and make the series a lot closer. How are you entering Game 4 to counter this possibility?
There's not really much we can know right now. We just have to adjust if they change something and just do what we can do and try to close out the series in the 4th game.
Okay. Well, you're this close to sending a statement to the rest of the ECL. Toppling a reigning champion in the sweep is pretty unheard of. What would it mean to you and H-Reds to do so?
Yeah, it would be very nice considering we lost 4-0 last year or in the last ECL, so it will be definitely nice to sweep them.
A nice bit of revenge.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for doing this. We'll throw it back to the studio now.
Thanks.
All right, Sin, so you heard it there. Not only, of course, would it be nice to get the win, it would be nice to pull off the sweep. We'll see if they are able to do that. 1 goal, or 1 game, I should say, is all they need. Perhaps 1 goal is all they need. We shall see. But we get a look here at the wingers now as well, of course. Filipoika, Nikki Dangles, very strong start to this series. And obviously, it's the big talking point. Playmaker and Eki really not able to get going in this.
Yeah, their attack just they couldn't get going on their attack, and it was just a full team effort from H-Reds right there, and Villapoik and Nikki Dangles kind of, being those aggressive guys on that forecheck as well, were really giving the Philadelphia defense fits. And we talk about all the time, wingers, if they are good defensively, that is a massive. I mean, oftentimes you see wingers, at times being, these just pure offensively driven players. But when you have those defensive elements, that's what gets you here into the championship round. That's the element that Nikki Dangles worked so hard to sort of add into his game in the last season. He perfected it, and now here he's getting back that offense as well as becoming a complete player. And we really saw that in those first 3 games from H-Reds.
Now, you did hear from Benito already, and in this upcoming contest, he'll be rocking the golden helmet for his club, again signifying their team's leading scorer here in the postseason. We talked about it for H-Reds. It's bounced around a little bit, whereas for Philadelphia, it has been Eki all the way through. You get the comparison there in terms of how consistently they've entered play wearing that prestigious crown, of course, in terms of being the team's top point producer. And for Benito as well, again, strong start to the series yesterday, so no real surprise. Eki continues to wear it. We did just hear from Benito. Connor was also able to get word with Eki heading into the back half of the series. Very intrigued to see what he thinks heading into this very tall task. Connor, take it away once more.
Hey again. I'm back with Eki from Philadelphia. I guess it wouldn't be an understatement to say that the games yesterday were not exactly what you were looking for. You started out the first game reasonably, weathered the H-Red storm, so to speak, and ground out the first goal. However, you never truly seemed to get a foothold in the game, and H-Reds ultimately came back and scored the OT winner. Even then, from the outside perspective, this first game was the closest of them all. Would you say this observation was accurate, or did Philadelphia see something else?
Well, I could say the whole day. I don't remember us being as bad as we were. Like after the games, I can be honest, felt like we had absolutely zero chance, and that's, you don't want to be in that position. First game was our best one. I wouldn't say we deserved to win that game, but 5 minutes left. If we play that game again, we probably would win it again. The goal they scored, and the iffy, we had 2 guys in the passing lane, just went through. But doesn't even matter because, we didn't really play that good, and I don't think we even deserve to be in that position. I don't know, lots to do for today, and yeah.
Well, you spoke about H-Reds and their confidence yesterday, how if they don't have it, they can be wildly off their game, but if they do, they can do some real damage. How would you reset this and make them unsure of themselves?
I think when you're up 3-0 or when you're 1 game away from getting the title, the last game is the most important one. And I think if we win the first game today, and if we start getting our gameplay up and they start losing more and more games, their confidence is going down like more and more. So the first 2 games, super vital for us, of course, because we're in the brink of an elimination.
Well, finally, a 0-3 hole is, well, obviously difficult to get out of. The most recent one who was able to somewhat manage it was in a final situation was Havu in ECL 9, who ultimately fell to you in Game 7. How are you guys going into these games to try and pull it back?
No, actually in ECL 10 we were down 3-0, got it to Game 7. Didn't win it, but we've been in a similar situation. We won 1 finals being down 1-3 in the finals, and we got another final to Game 7. So we've been here before. But I have to say, the 2-3 years I played in Fila, I don't remember being in a gameplay situation like this. Even against Havu, when we lost those games, we felt like we were right there. But now I feel like we need a huge step. And if you want to get more into it, we can't get into their zone. That's the most important thing. I feel like if we get into their zone, we create okay chances, and our defense is fine. Apart from that Game 2 blowout, our defense was fine. But yeah, we just need to figure out a way to get into their zone, and I think if we manage to do that, manage to kind of shake their defense, good things can happen.
Yeah, I think that's kind of echoing what we've seen, at least. I think in the pre-game we kind of highlighted how Hatred kind of worked on their blue line, how in the past it was kind of, well, open if you switched it, but it seems like now they've really honed in and made that like a forte of their game. But once again, many thanks for doing this, Eki. We'll now hand it back to the studio.
Thank you.
So again, some very interesting words there from Eki. Brutally honest, I think, would be the best way to describe what we heard there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's what it's going to come down to. You got to understand yourself. You got to be honest with yourself, and you got to know the situation that you're in. Delusion won't do them any favors here. So they're well aware of what they need to do. They're well aware of the situation, and we'll see if they're able to start mounting that comeback. But yeah, it starts with that first win. So they're going to have to come out here and play strong, and it may come down to that back end a little bit. Teemu Loimu got to, maybe help generate a bit more offense as well. But yeah, you heard him. I mean, the defense wasn't bad besides in that game too, when all the wheels started to fall off. But in the same breath, Domi, King of Apes were terrific. They were incredible at the blue line. They shut things down. Not only that, they still found ways to contribute offensively. Both of them with a goal. Both of them, I think, had a couple assists as well. And that's exactly what they needed to do. And we're going to have to see that from Philadelphia in these games as well if they want to come back.
It was Domi with 4 assists, King of Apes with a goal, and 5 assists in the first 3 games of this series. An incredible start for that blue line pair, and we have one more interview to throw to here. We heard from him a couple of times yesterday, even if you couldn't necessarily hear him at the end of yesterday's broadcast, but you'll be able to hear him loud and clear this time. It's King of Apes, who was able to get a couple of words in again with Martindale. Connor, one more time, take it away.
Hi again, and welcome back to another interview, this time with King of Apes from H-Reds. Well, I guess one could say that you guys not only worked on your weaknesses from the previous finals, but that you mastered what was once a hole in your game. Your team's blue line defense is probably the most improved and is obviously frustrating Philadelphia. That's not even touching the obviously more aggressive forecheck that you guys have employed to great success. Did you know yourself going in that it would lead to this much domination, or were you surprised at the improvement that your team has shown?
I think we kind of believe it in our game system and the new things we have put into the final, especially. So I think we were very confident, but still it was a little bit surprised that it worked like almost perfectly. And yeah, what can I say? It was fun to play. But yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, of course, finals of any tournament are rarely as simple, and I'm sure we all expect Philadelphia to adjust and try to exploit something different in your game. How are you entering Game 4 to counter this possibility?
I was trying to scope the games yesterday night, but it's hard to do anything different as they work so good. So I think we're going to play just the same. Just minimize our mistakes and just believe in our game system. And yeah, I think that's the keys to us to win this series. Just focus the next game. It's like just a one game. We have to think about like that, and yeah, just try to focus and yeah, play by the period and see how it goes.
Shift by shift and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're this close to sending a statement to the rest of the ECL. Toppling the reigning champion in the sweep is practically unheard of. What would it mean to you and H-Reds to do so?
Well, I think a statement would be also just winning the title. So if we are managed to get the sweep, it's just a nice bonus. But our only goal is to win the 4 games first, and it's gonna be huge for us, the first possible championships, and the message that we are here to just win these tournaments, and yeah, what can I say? It means a lot to us.
Okay. Well, thanks again for doing this. We'll now throw it back to the studio.
Again, fantastic work from Connor there. Sin, interesting to note, again, we talked about it, the likes of Villapoica, Benito, and King of Apes, previously champions in the Elite Division. That was a long time ago, though. When you talk about the evolution of this league, the evolution of the teams, the competition level as well, still shows how much this particular title means to that H-Red squad this time out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you get a taste of it, a brief taste, and it's taken away from you by a Philadelphia team who just simply wouldn't be beaten. And you have a chance this season to sort of come back and try to reclaim it. You're up 3-0, but they know the job isn't done yet. And you kind of get that, feeling from them when you hear them talk. They're still, they're in their voices. They're still very level. They're still very focused. They're not even close to celebrating yet. It's just all about that fourth and final W.
All right, and speaking of final here, we have our final head-to-head matchup here as well between FaZe for H-Reds, Kape for Philadelphia. And Sin, I mean, you can see how close these two are at this stage, but no doubt about it, a huge part as to why H-Reds have that 3-0 series lead is FaZe played the best games I think we've ever seen him play yesterday.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the pregame yesterday. Who's going to make those big momentum-changing saves? And FaZe did that a number of times. I think it was I can't remember which game it was, but at the end of the first period, he had 2 massive saves with seconds remaining that could have put Philadelphia on top. And there were several moments like that where he just stopped Philadelphia from being able to gain any momentum, whether it was the first goal, whether it would have been a tying goal. FaZe was remarkable. And he's going to have to continue to do that. We saw yesterday, Kape was up near 85 save percentage, FaZe down towards 81. Their save percentage at this point near identical. The better goals against going to H-Red simply because of those 2 shutouts that he got yesterday. And he's going to have to keep up his level of play and try to frustrate Philadelphia more, because you got to think they're going to be able to get into that zone a little bit more, and those chances will be coming more frequently.
Absolutely. Now, Sin, as always, here we have our keys to success for each side. We'll start off with what H-Reds has to do tonight to close out this series, to get the job done, basing this, of course, off of a lot of what happened yesterday. Sin, what do we have here?
Well, the first point here is we're going to talk about him some more. Truly unfazed. 1 goal allowed in 3 games. That sort of performance absolutely speaks for itself. He was brought in to take this club to the next level. He's 1 win away from doing that, and he has taken his game to the next level in the process of this journey. The second point here, Captain Fantastic, from dominating the faceoff dot to scoring 4 goals in game 2, posting 7 points in the series so far. This has been his magnum opus here, and we will see more of this, hopefully see more of the same from him. If we do, you got to think that this series will be over. He has been a massive game changer for H-Reds. The third and final point here is the best. The first 3 games of this series was the best we've seen H-Reds play, bar none. The best defensive display from Domi and Apes at the blue line. They were a brick wall back there. The best we've seen them play offensively together as well. Apes with 6 points, Domi with 4. Again, more of the same. And you can't help but think that this title is H-Reds.
And of course, for Philadelphia as well, 3 things that stand out from yesterday and what they need to do better here today. Sin, what are the 3 keys here?
Well, the first one here is the breakout struggles. The lack of goal scoring is going to be the obvious theme here. 1 goal in 3 games played. Arguably, the biggest reason for that has been constantly kind of getting stuck on the back foot. And when they were able to get it out of the zone, they ran into that brick wall on the H-Reds blue line. H-Reds are doing what Philadelphia has done to everyone else. They're hemming them into their own zone, disrupting the breakout, and the comeback starts with clean zone exits and clean zone entries. The second point here is breaking away. Another big part of the struggles that we've seen is the inability for Philadelphia to get behind the defense of H-Reds, whether it's different looks, more risks, whatever it takes. You need to get that legendary Philadelphia pressure on the back end of H-Reds. And the third final point here is face-offs. It was a key yesterday. It's going to be a key again today, because there was a moment, I believe it was game 3, where H-Reds was up 9-0 on draws. That simply cannot happen again. Potslav is going to have to find a way to battle back, claw his way through, get the mental edge, whatever it takes to start winning some more faceoffs for his team so they can start snowballing in the right direction.
Now, again, a friendly reminder here, the action going to be getting underway here in just a matter of moments. Again, for those that missed it at the start of this broadcast, of course, for the Finns in chat, sthockey.com, Wilhelm's tournament that's going to be going on all around Finland. Use code Wilhelm for 50% off your team's entry fee into their countrywide street hockey tournament. And of course, in chat for the Finns as well, Viaplay giving away some codes today once more. Again, a friendly reminder as well, just because the action wraps up in the Elite Division today and with the ECL for this season does not mean things are done at NHL Gamer, as signups are now live, of course, for the Finnish Championship side of things and the Swedish Championship side of things.
Welcome to The Rewind. I'm F5 Penguin.
And we're good to go. We're good to go. Hey, some of these blips happen sometimes. You'll get another look at the rewind here in a moment. But again, the Finnish side of things, of course, both 1v1 and 6s game modes available here. The 10K Euro prize pool at stake, of course. And for the Swedish side of things as well, a pretty hefty prize pool there as well. Sin, 100,000 Swedish crowns up for grabs on that side of things. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, until you realize that 10 Swedish crowns equals €1, and the prize pools are relatively similar. But yes, that number does look very, very tempting right there. And obviously, I mean, both of these tournaments are going to be, absolute barn burners. So much talent, and great to see.
So again, so much going on. NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need. Now, Sin, of course, we got a quick little peek at it a second ago. We ran this yesterday, but I think off of how the first 3 games went, it's worth taking another look. Let's appreciate the work that one Mr. F5 Penguin put in. Let's throw it to the rewind.
Welcome to The Rewind. I'm F5 Penguin, and here we're going to take a look at the X's and O's on the virtual ice between H-Reds and Philadelphia. Good things, bad things, and all things in between. Here's what we noticed. First, let's rewind all the way back to last season. Going back to November 2020, one of H-Red's biggest issues was their blue line defense. They were way too aggressive at the blue line, leaving openings for Philadelphia to take advantage with lots of free zone entries. Free entries means free possessions. Free possessions means more scoring opportunities. Now let's fast forward to the regular season matchup that they had. H-Reds looking like a completely different team, fully committed to the 5-man trap. Everyone is holding their zone, and it really stifled Philadelphia's rhythm, leading to a lot of offsides and turnovers at the blue line. And it was a key reason why they split their regular season matchup. Limiting free zone entries not only helps them defensively, but causes more turnovers where H-Reds can use their speed, their biggest strength on the counterattack. The key thing is, can they stay mentally focused and committed to this for a full 7-game series? Now, let's talk about the defending champs, Philadelphia, and their forecheck. They are not afraid to pressure the puck carrier and force their opponents into making bad decisions, or to put them in a position with nowhere to go. Here, we have H-Reds in their own zone. Playmaker, after losing the puck, puts some pressure on the D-men to try to force a turnover. Just as he leaves the zone, Eki rotates his way in catching H-Reds off guard, knocking the puck loose, leading to a good Philadelphia chance. Philadelphia once again putting on an aggressive forecheck. H-Reds here doing their best to escape, and everyone's covered. Eki covering the boards, Playmakers covering the passing options in the middle, and Podslov has the breakout option. Without any choices, Philadelphia easily strips the puck and gets a shot on net. They won't always do this, they will pick their spots, and if they smell blood, watch out, because the puck will be in the back of the net before you know it. Now, these are two of the best teams in Europe and in the world, but they are human. Miscommunications do happen, and they can make mistakes. Here, Playmaker takes a monster hit and is slow to get up. H-Reds takes control and begins their counterattack. I hope you guys didn't forget about Playmaker, because H-Reds did, and someone of his caliber will make you pay. Now, of course, we have to talk about the dreaded 2-on-1. As H-Reds enters the zone, both Patslef and Loimu follow the streaking forward. This is dangerous because here they need to decide, does Loimu stay with the puck carrier? He is closer after all, and let Patslef handle Benito, or does he go back and let Patslef stick to the puck carrier? Both of them went after the puck carrier, and the next thing you know it, it's a 2-on-1 chance for H-Reds, but Kape was able to come through with the big save. As we've just shown here, everyone will make mistakes. The question is, for this series, who will be the one that makes less of them and capitalize on the opportunities when the other team slips up? This, of course, has been the NHL Gamer Rewind. I'm F5 Penguin. Let's get back to the studio.
So again, a big thank you to Nick there for the work. And again, Sin, we saw it play out in those 3 games, exactly what he warned everybody about in terms of what needs to happen ended up happening. H-Red shutting down that blue line that didn't allow really any chances on the breakdown the other way. So again, fair play to Nick. Again, absolutely hit the nail on the head. Again, everybody, we are just a few moments away from puck drop. Friendly reminder, though, as well, in this particular broadcast, we are handing out more of our season awards. Of course, we conduct the polling from the players themselves, and a quick recap of the awards that were handed out yesterday, of course, including best acquisition / transfer that ended up going to Laminins of FBK. On top of that as well, the comeback player of the year. They didn't have the season they would have wanted, but it was Die Cutter MC for Rusty Blades. And we also handed out Rookie of the Year. Of course, last year's Rookie of the Year is in the final. It is FaZe. He's 1 win away from a title. What is in store for Piku Roger in the future? The Goons forward winning Rookie of the Year this year as well. And of course, he leads the way for the Rookie Team of the Year that we wanted to mention here as well, where, of course, it's not just Piku Roger, who was one of the star players this past season that you need to look out for here in the future, but, of course, the full Rookie Team of the Year to be announced here in just a matter of moments, of course. But Sin, and talking about Piku Roger, again, what a season he had, and let's unveil the rest of that Rookie Team of the year here, shall we? Because he had some pretty stiff competition, especially amongst some of the forwards. Of course, from IQ, Leitinen, Santari were there. Of course, his fellow teammate there, Viba on Goons, and of course, Nordsman from Rusty Blades, and of course, we're going to go with Ben instead of Benna so that we don't get criticized by the boys at YMCA, but he had a great chance as well, not only at winning Rookie of the Year, but Goalie of the Year as well.
Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic, and a big reason that YMCA, did find themselves in the position that they were in at the end. Perhaps not the ending they would have wanted or the matchup, but he was a huge reason in a bit of their resurgence. At times they did struggle, but yeah, I mean, all these Leitinen, what a season that he had for IQ. We talked about it so often. This was kind of the year of the center, and watching all these centers get tremendous amount of points. Leitinen was indeed one of those, and the 2 defensemen, Viba especially, again. That left side of the ice, Piku Roger and Viba, a huge part of the reason that Goons made it to where they were.
So again, later on in this broadcast, you see the Rookie Team of the Year. We will unveil the outright team of the season: top forward, defender, goaltender, and of course, who else joins them on that team. Sin, we've hyped it up for long enough. We are just about ready to go. Game number 4. It is do or die from here on out for Philadelphia. We pretty much know what they have to do to get the job done here, all things considered. Intrigued to see what happens.
Yeah, and as you always like to say, Tugi, this is the last game of hockey that they have been promised, and we'll have to see if they're up to the task of beginning to come back and start getting some wins right here, because again, if H-Reds are able to play like they did yesterday, it's going to be far from easy. They're going to have to scratch and claw for every bit of offensive presence and every single goal, and hopefully they get more than one, because if they don't, then this could be over very quickly for Philadelphia.
Again, for H-Reds, 10K euros on the line. Win 1 game. That's all you have to do here today. You won 3 in a row yesterday. Can you win 1 more? We'll see the adjustments that Philadelphia happened to make here. Sin, it's just about time for the game. I think we get down to business here.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, if I'm Philadelphia and if I'm, in their room right now, I'm almost kind of wondering what the vibe is. We saw them yesterday on cams, before things were getting going, feeling very loose and, kind of playing around a little bit. I kind of wonder if there's any of that going on today. I mean, they didn't have the results that they wanted yesterday, and we're not going to point out like, oh, they were feeling so loose, that's why they had a rough result. Sometimes you just have days like that, and it's up to Philadelphia here to be able to reverse their fortunes, and kind of all the pressure is on them. And we see them, most of them in that same building together. Kape, of course, being in Sweden, the one who is away from location, but they got their work cut out for them. They know what's at stake here, and just one game at a time, one period at a time, one play at a time.
A much different atmosphere for the Philadelphia boys this time out. The first game yesterday, game 1 of this series. Happy, jovial, Kape keeping things light. It is a focused Philadelphia squad, to say the least. This is the only game, as Sin mentioned, that we are guaranteed to see in this broadcast. Will it be the final game of what was a simply incredible ECL season, Season 12, puck drop, Game 4, underway, and it's time to find out whether or not Philadelphia can battle back into this series. An early icing call against H-Reds, and we'll see how this face-off goes.
I like what I saw from Philadelphia early. Yeah, just trying to send that guy up the middle, trying to get in the zone early. Every single game yesterday, it was H-Reds getting the first offensive zone possession, H-Reds getting the first of the chances. So I like to kind of see Philadelphia trying to send a man up the middle, catch them off guard, and get some early chances.
Exactly. We do have an offside call here, and Sin, that was commonplace yesterday for Philadelphia in terms of not being able to gain the line. Need to look to clean that up a little bit, but again, it's H-Reds who have just been dominating that blue line so far.
Yeah, and Philadelphia would even starting to utilize the dump and chase, which I don't know if we've ever seen them pull out, but you can see that was kind of the level of desperation that they were facing.
Here's Benito into the attacking zone now for H-Reds. Gets it, the corner pass in front. Bounced off the stick of Nicky Dangles. Back to the point, Domi. Plenty of space up there as well. Deflection doesn't go. Loose puck bouncing around. It'll be Playmaker who comes up with it. Potzloff and Eki trying to work together, and again, completely stifled the moment they enter the zone, and you see 5 men back for H-Reds here, taking no chances. 2-for-1 special for Benito there. An early statement here in the first period.
Massive hit in the neutral zone right there, not allowing him to get any speed, and you see that trap working to effect. Villapoica on the board, shutting him down, getting the nice body right there, actually pushing that puck out, forcing yet another offside.
I don't think, again, we've ever seen Philadelphia in an offside trap situation they haven't been able to overcome. So far, again, that's been the case. As mentioned, to the first 3 games of this series, just 1 goal scored. The opening of this series, they have not scored since. Benito tried to dish it back to the point. Good interception by Playmaker, and let's see if he can get something going with speed. He can't. Puck knocked loose again, and numbers down the other way for H-Reds, but Nicky Dangles a little bit too far ahead.
Yeah, an unfortunate break right there for H-Reds as Nicky Dangles jumped just a little bit. That could have been a great situation, and that was kind of their bread and butter from yesterday. They'd force a turnover high in the zone or at the blue line, and they'd get numbers going back the other way, and that's something that Philadelphia is going to have to be conscientious of throughout this game.
It's H-Reds dishing it down low, pass off the mark. Teemu, the quick out. Nearly halfway through this first period here. Eki and Playmaker, again, just nowhere to go. Or can they force that turnover? Lapoica stripped of the puck. They maintain possession. It's H-Reds now having to try to find a way to get past this Philadelphia trap. Good job by Eki to knock that one loose. Potzloff has it now. Dish back to the defense. Can they find space? And they can. Here's Benito. Does he have a step onto the fence? Trying to get through. Pass in front. And a close call there. Still in possession. Domi shot bouncing around. And it's Eki who's able to come up with it. Nervous moments there, Sim, for Philadelphia.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, turnovers high in the zone. Once again, they can't get it in. Here comes H-Reds. They got to find another way.
There's space for Playmaker. Can't get that shot off through the traffic. Great work from Domi there. Said it yesterday, the 3 games he played, I think the best we have ever seen him play is that shot just wide from Villapoika. Looking for the rebound, nearly snuck it home. Playmaker tries to get past the defense, still has it. Looking, pass across, doesn't go. A close call there for Philadelphia. They just couldn't get stick to puck when they needed to. With the puck in a danger area. Here's Nicky Dangles working well with King of Apes on that right-hand side of your screen. Now it's Benito down low in the corner. 4 minutes to play here in this first period. We had a game go to OT without a goal yesterday. Game number 3. King of Apes has it now. Taking his time. Domi pinching in. That pass off the mark. Philadelphia trying to get that traffic at the point. There you go, Sid. More of that. Put the pressure on the defense. You've been giving them way too much space.
Yeah, absolutely. The collapse is good, but it's giving a team that is great at passing a lot more opportunity to pass and be quick. And, I mean, we really saw that come to fruition in that Game 3 overtime where H-Reds just hemmed them in and Philadelphia was caught just a bit too flat-footed in their own end.
Here's Benito, a little bit of space. Eki trying to give chase, looking, knocked loose at the last moment. One more chance down the other way for Philadelphia. Perhaps H-Reds knock it loose. Benito gains the line. 4 seconds here. Trouble in the corner. Pass in front. Second chance is stopped by Kape. What an opportunity for Domi. He just couldn't slip it inside the post. It was a bit too centered. And Philadelphia dodge a bullet late.
Yeah, a couple more seconds perhaps. That goal was sitting there in the blue paint with a H-Reds player nearby, enough to kind of bat that in, but towards the tail end, Philadelphia survive, and I think the tail once again is, I don't think they're going to have any time on attack, maybe about 30 seconds. They, again, couldn't gain the zone, couldn't establish anything, and H-Reds is just picking up where they left off and just suffocating this Philadelphia attack in, yeah, less than 30 seconds, over 3 minutes for H-Reds. Only 1 registered shot, sure, but if you're keeping Philadelphia out of your zone, you're not giving them anything to build on. And if you're Philadelphia, here's where the mental aspect comes in. You're like, okay, different day, but same story after that first period, and that's going to wear on you unless, you know, Philadelphia are able to kind of turn things around and find something. I think they need to look to that cross corner dump and chase again and look for quick passes after zone entries and try to spread out a bit. I think they're letting themselves get collapsed upon when they enter that zone, and H-Reds are just able to turn that around from defense to offense so quickly.
Again, we have never seen Philadelphia get stifled like this. It's a combination perhaps of them being off their game, but more so, Sin, this has been a phenomenal defensive display by H-Reds. I mean, again, to make the Philadelphia forwards look as subpar as they have so far, that is a coup, to say the least, for this defense here. But Philadelphia finally getting some offensive zone time. They can't get that shot through from Loimo at the point. Playmaker back down. Eki, the short side, second chance doesn't go. FaZe is able to cover, but a much better start here in the second for Philly.
Yeah, got some chances off the bat, and they're moving the puck a little bit more quickly, which is what they're going to need to do because H-Reds is being aggressive even in their own zone. They don't want to allow Philadelphia to really, you know, sit there with the puck and guard it. What a forecheck from Eki.
Nice job there. Teemu up to Potzloff now at the point. Can't get that one through the traffic. Playmaker holds on to it. Again, back to Teemu. Shot deflection save by FaZe. Much better from Philly here to start the second period.
Yep, here they come. They want to try to trap them in their own end. Big face-off here for Potzloff. Lost the last one, but they got on the forecheck. We'll see what he can do here.
Off the draw. They do win it. Shot, loose puck. Handled well by the defense in front. Let's see what H-Reds can do, trying to get their first bit of offense in this period. Domi. Good quick cycle. It's Benito down low. He's looking at his options. Fends off the pressure. Nicky Dangles to Domi. Good blocker save. Second chance off the side of the goal. Puck back to the point. That slap shot blocked down. Apes couldn't get that one through. Domi for Nicky Dangles along the half wall. On that shot, rebound was there. Kape the save, but H-Reds going to the power play here. It will be Eki going to the box. Sin, this is the 8th power play chance for H-Reds in less than 4 games.
Yeah, it was a bit of a parade yesterday to the box, and Philadelphia can't get caught in that once again, but here we go. H-Reds power play, aggressive as always on that forecheck. However, Philadelphia are able to get the clear. That's very, very important there. It's harder to gain the zone.
A good job by Teemu to clear that one, but it's H-Reds right back in on the attack. Nicky Dangles to Domi. Good block by Potzloff. Puck still alive. Nicky Dangles driving the net. And Kape is there. Some good stops for him early on as well.
Yeah, really getting into it, keeping his team alive as H-Red's chances are mounting here, and you can just see how quick they are at passing, quick they are at getting those shots away.
And again, Teemu able to clear. 45 seconds to go on this man advantage, the first of the game for H-Reds. They are 3 for 7 on the power play in this series. Domi. The cut back. King of Apes, Nikki Dangles. Domi can't get that one through. Another good block, and Potzloff clears. So a successful kill for Philadelphia here in the second period. Both teams, some decent offensive zone time compared to that first period. The nervous energy, you could tell, is still there, Sin. One mistake is all it's going to take for this team, one of these two teams, to find that breakthrough goal and put the pressure on the other side. It's Benito here. Into the attacking zone. Tried to dish it down low. Great double team work there. Huge hit. Playmaker got dropped. That'll slow down the offense. Benito, the big poke check. H-Reds down the other way. Holds it. Pass. Scores! Villapoika finds the difference maker. 1-0 H-Reds here in the second period.
Wow. Just, wow. Again, a turnover in the neutral zone, and H-Reds are able to turn that into offense. Some fantastic quick passing. Sneaking over to Villapoika, who was the late man who cut across the net and beats Kape. H-Reds taking the 1-0 lead here in the second. That is Philadelphia. They got to find a way here. They're down now, and it's just going to get harder from here on out. H-Reds are going to defend harder and harder and harder in Philadelphia. They've got to find a response quickly. They cannot go into third down.
Have to throw everything at the wall that you can. A tremendous goal for Villapoika, his third of the series. And indeed now for Phila, we need all the looks you have, every trick in the book. Otherwise, again, the near unthinkable, a complete role reversal from last season could indeed happen. H-Reds completely shutting down as FaZe makes another save. H-Reds completely shutting down one of the most dominant teams in the world. And Sin, the problem is, even when Philadelphia finds space, they have to beat one of the best goaltenders in the world.
Yeah, and he's really making his mark and putting himself onto that mountain of being one of the best. Just with this finals performance alone, FaZe has been incredible.
Good interception there by Loimu. Philadelphia trying to get in on the attack again. Just absolutely no space. Nikki Dangles losing that puck. The problem is, the second you think, oh, dump and chase, that's really discrediting the abilities of Domi and King of Apes to think that a simple dump and chase. And there you go, problem solved, of course. King of Apes now at the point. Domi D2D shot. Good deflection bid there for Benito. Kape was there. Chance! And Kape is able to get down into the butterfly last moment.
And Philadelphia's situation as such is every time there's a shot on net or a chance down low, you hold your breath, because H-Reds, if they make this 2-0 with the way they're playing defensively, hard to imagine Philadelphia coming back from that.
Another deflection bid. 2 men in front there for the traffic. 2.5 minutes to go here in this second period. Villapoika, the goal scorer, drops back to Domi. He's stripped of the puck by Eki. Philadelphia desperately needing a goal here and just nowhere to go. Every poke check on point. Here perhaps though. Teemu nearly kept that one in. Potzloff over to Eki. Down low into the corner here. Playmaker gives chase, and incredibly quick outs. The normal pressure tactics for Phila not working. You can see them trying to get it to go. Chance pass. What a stop. May have clipped the bar. It stays out. Still a 1-goal game. Heading to the third period. What a moment that could have been. Right at the end, Sin.
Wow, that was so close right there. We're going to get perhaps another look at it right here. Yes, we are. The shot off the blocker. Yeah, wow. Unbelievable job from Kape right there, doing everything he can to keep this Philadelphia team in a position to come back, to win. Remember that save here. Philadelphia can find something in the third. This could be it, but look at that goal from before. I mean, just perfect. A guy crashing the net, taking away the defenseman, and then Villapoika cuts over to that right side, and the lane is open. Just masterful from H-Reds. They're able to find space because they make space with great movement, great puck movement, as well as player movement, and just making the right passes at the right time.
So this is it. Philadelphia need a goal to tie this game up and try to keep the series alive. Pass back from Eki does not go. This is it for Philadelphia. All or nothing. Third period, game 4. They trail 3-0. Here's Villapoika. Benito fighting for it as well. Loimu. Stave both of them off. Philadelphia has not scored since the second period of game number 1. And an absolutely astonishing fact here. The series is played out like you might expect from a battle of 1v8. Not how you would expect the top 2 teams to be going head-to-head, especially, again, Philadelphia didn't lose a game in regulation this season, only lost 2 games in general. Duffs. Third best offense, top-rated defense as well for Philadelphia. Here's Playmaker, gets it to Teemu. That one looked good, just a little bit too high. And a turnover here. Pass up to Villapoika, and a good job there from Loimu to take it away. 6 minutes gone. What a sauce pass to find Eki. And again, Domi has been incredible. What a shutdown that was.
That was perfect. I mean, I don't know what else can you say about that, but they get, unfortunately, offsides. That was a pretty nice dump as Playmaker did get possession of it, but that's Domi over there, big matched up against Eki, arguably the best player in the world.
Shutting down the European GWC champion, multiple-time GWC champion. So, you know, just another day at the office. Incredible stuff here. He's on the puck now. Good quick movement. Truly is like the roles have been reversed. It's been Philadelphia struggling to shut down their blue line and those zone entries. They have the puck here. It deflects. Tough break for Teemu. He can't get that puck pickup. Eki now. 11 minutes to go perhaps in Philadelphia's season. Here comes the dump and chase. And again, not there. King of Apes. Domi. Doesn't matter what you throw at them. They're going to be ready for it. That one's poked away. Eki able to take this one away now. What can he do? 4 men back for H-Reds immediately. Dish down low is intercepted by Domi. Now 9 minutes to play. Here's Nicky Dangles. Villapoika tried to go back to him. Philadelphia running out of time. Their dream of being our first back-to-back champions slipping away with every second of the clock. Winding down, 7.5 to go. Trying to gain the zone. They finally do, only to have it knocked loose. Puck sent around the back again. Nicky Dangles at least gets it out of the zone. Turnover here. Benito taking the hit. Eki has it. Over for Potzloff on that right-hand side. Couple quick passes. Eki for Playmaker. Cleared out by King of Apes in 5 minutes to go.
It's unreal. They can't get anything.
Incredibly done here. Couple of quick passes. H-Reds have space going down the other way. Villapoika in behind the defense. He misses on the short side. That close to icing it. He has the game-winning goal as it stands. Nearly had the insurance. King of Apes. Back down low for Nicky Dangles. 3 minutes to go. Apes has it again. Good interception. Here's Eki. Nowhere to go. Domi is there again. What a defensive display this is. He has it again. Sends it all the way down. Icing with 1:39 on the clock.
Patsoff has to win this faceoff. This is the only way they can. I feel like they could get it into the zone is off of an icing call. It's just unreal. Even when they get it into the zone, they are surrounded by H-Reds. It seems like H-Reds has a man advantage at all times because they're just where they need to be. It's otherworldly. They're in perfect position at all times for some reason. Perfect position to get a loose puck. Perfect position to shut down the passing lanes, to collapse on the puck carrier. They're moving as one. And I mean, to top it all off, yeah, Domi, King of Apes, seemingly cannot make a wrong move right now.
As the play is back underway here. 35 seconds to go for Philadelphia. That one on nets. Running out of time. Good poke check, but it's right to Nicky Dangles. Going down the other way. Good defense here. Space finally for Philadelphia, but it's knocked loose on the back check from Benito. Villapoika gets it up the ice. 2-1-0 with 14 seconds. Benito denied by Kape. He has to play it out. They turn it over. Benito again stopped. Nikki Dangles has it down low. 5 seconds to go. H-Reds have done it. They have climbed to the top of the mountain and swept Philadelphia to win the Elite Championship here in Season 12. Sin, can you believe it? Finally, somebody knocks off the Philadelphias and the Havus of the world. Job done in 4 games.
The ECL Elite officially has a new landscape. H-Reds are the champions here of Season 12. 3 shutouts in a row for FaZe and this H-Reds team. Perfection. We talked about it. That's what it would take to beat a team like Philadelphia. Perfection. H-Reds have achieved it. H-Reds were perfect. H-Reds get the sweep. And H-Reds are now your ECL Elite champions.
Sim, we are getting a word here. I mean, again, we'll see if this stands. Apparently, there was a bug with the clock. There was a time or a pause called off of that icing. The time kept going. We'll see whether or not we can do anything about it. All things considered, we'll see if we can get a restart worthy of the final minute of play. It's only fair to Philadelphia that we do potentially restart this. I mean, what are you necessarily going to do with that 1 extra minute, given the circumstances of how this series played out? We'll see what the official word happens to be here. As it stands, H-Reds have been crowned champions. This is our 2010 Chicago Blackhawks moment, although, hey, you know, the ramifications of that. We'll see what happens here, Sin. I mean, again, we don't want to be unfair to Philadelphia and say, what would you have done in that final minute anyway? Let's see what happens here. Again, we're waiting for the official word behind the scenes of what we might do, given these circumstances. But, you know, hey, we can call it a moment. You know, you can sit and talk about what type of moment it is based off of certain programming, but it's a moment nonetheless.
Yeah, and unfortunate that it has to come down to something like this. You know, it was kind of weird when we came back. I thought, oh, we missed a lot of time right there. Did we linger on the cameras too long? And did they quick out of that thing? But yeah, it was interesting to see the clocks where they were. But I mean, that being said, again, Philadelphia just struggling to get into the zone, struggling to get some offense, but you never know what can happen. We've seen so many late goals being scored here that, yeah, if to give them the amount of time, you know, is definitely something that we want to do. So I'm curious to how we're going to work that. We jumped back in with about 40 seconds. When we ended, it was just under 2 minutes. So you got to think about that. Last minute is about 4 or 5 minutes of sped up clock game time. So someone's going to have to do some quick maths and sort of break down how much time would have to be on that clock there if we were to jump back in and get the reset, give Philadelphia, you know, that real chance to sort of start working that way back. Because again, if you get that first win, you start building it back up. You get that second win, you start putting doubt back into H-Reds. But as it stands right now with the ruling, it would be H-Reds being crowned champions. And again, it would be well-deserved. They were phenomenal throughout the course of this series. And FaZe, wow, just FaZe, Dome, and King of Apes. I mean, those are the 3 guys that really made things work. And Philadelphia, even when they gain the zone, even when they get chances, FaZe was perfect.
I think an unenviable position for everybody involved here. I mean, again, still 100% waiting for the official word as to what's going to happen. Well aware of what Eki just mentioned in chat in terms of saying that they'd accept it. But again, waiting for the powers that be behind the scenes here. You know, NHL 21 is an interesting game, and some might say this was the you know, a great outcome as a descriptor for you know, some things in regards to NHL.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that glitch. I don't think I've ever seen that. Of all times, of course, it has to happen in the biggest championship here in the Euro scene, arguably the entire ESHL scene. But wow, I mean, just again, it's a tough to have that happen, number one, but it just kind of culminating into what Philadelphia what's happened to them all throughout the series. nothing has been able to go right from them. That, again, not that Philadelphia hasn't shown up or been unable. They're playing extremely poorly. I'm sure they will see, like, we could be better. We need to be better. But that credit has to go to HREDs for being the way they've been. And it's so hard to kind of keep that sort of dominance from day to day. I mean, you get that 3-0. I'm sure we were talking about a little bit. If you're HREDs, you're like, why can't we just play this fourth game? Now we're rolling right now. We're crushing it. And I'm sure that's what they wanted to do. But they're able to keep that mentality, keep that edge to them, come in here and perform the way they did, and once again shut down a team like Philadelphia. And depending on, you know, kind of what happens here, no matter what, they're well deserving of that bit of celebration.
We do have the official word. Both teams have agreed. The ruling is final. HREDs complete the sweep and are champions of the Elite Division. Philadelphia obviously feel a little bit hard pressed by it, but at the end of the day, they're okay with it. They're accepting of it. HREDs are the champions here in season 12. A little bit anticlimactic in some regards. Again, we thank our friends at EA for that one, but Sin, the result stands. And again, what a performance from HREDs. This was, I would have to say, the most dominant performance we have ever seen here in our few years now of being with NHL Gamer. Now, we saw Philadelphia pull off a sweep last season of HREDs. They didn't hold HREDs to 1 goal.
No.
Philadelphia held to 1 goal. This was the best performance we have ever seen from these 6 men right here.
Yeah, I believe it was HRED's 10 total goals in this series to Philadelphia's 1. Remember this, because I don't think that's going to happen ever again. Philadelphia, they're going to come away with this with a bitter taste in their mouth. They're going to get down to work in this offseason because they got to feel like they deserved a much, much better fate than they got here in the finals. But again, massive credit to HREDs, who had a game plan, executed it to perfection, have been crowned the champions, and not only that, in, you said it, a dominant fashion. Sure, 3 games decided by 1 goal, 2 of them going to overtime, but you just held Philadelphia to just 1 goal. The second best offensive team throughout the course of the regular season, the best defensive team, and HREDs, you just beat them at their own game. We've seen teams beat Philadelphia, but it's never throwing their game back in their face to that sort of effect. It's unreal what HREDs just did.
Philadelphia, defending champions. They have been to the finals every single year since season 7. Season 12 just wrapped with this title. They are 3-time champions. As we get a live look at the trophy cam there. And Sin, I mean, you got to give credit to the powers that be here, always walking away with some marvelous hardware, are the champions of this division. This is a series that's going to be talked about for a very long time. The magnitude of the 2 at the top in terms of Philadelphia and Havu. And we pegged HREDs a few years ago as a team on the rise that could eventually pull this off and stop those 2 powerhouses from winning year in and year out. Needless to say, it is no longer a big 2. It is very much a big 3. Absolutely stunning. As pointed out, 10 regulation periods and 2 overtimes passed since Philadelphia's last goal. And it's just absolutely stunning. I cannot believe what we've witnessed here.
No, that simply doesn't happen. A team like Philadelphia scores. A team like Philadelphia does everything well, but especially they're able to score. I mean, we think back to a few seasons ago when they were against Havu, who was the best defensive team. It was Philadelphia were able to outscore their mistakes. And in this one, they got 0 offense. Again, didn't play bad defensively by any means besides that game 2 that got away from them. But HREDs just shut down everything that they wanted to do.
And again, all it took was 1 goal. I'm still just completely stunned by this. I will mention here in chat as well, hopefully too, I'm very intrigued to see who chat would vote for as team MVP here, because you have to talk about this. Villapoica, 6 points in that series. Benito, 8 points, 4 goals. But do you give it to Benito for the goal scoring? Do you give it to Domi and Apes. Like, does there have to be a joint MVP in terms of Domi and King of Apes? I mean, Domi, especially for that performance in Game 4, ridiculous. And then you have FaZe, who gave up 1 goal in a 4-game series against arguably the best team in the world. Who the hell do you give MVP to? I'm intrigued to see what the team thinks. We always get the team's opinion. I'd be intrigued to know what the chat thinks as well, if one of our mods can get that set up. Who do you possibly... I mean, when it was such a great team performance overall, how do you name just one person as the best player of the bunch?
It was honestly a complete team effort, and every single piece was working in the right direction. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, it always starts from the back end, bit of my own bias showing through, but Domi was unreal. I mean, we said it numerous times for this HRED squad. We've never seen him play this good of hockey. Domi, from series to series, it was probably the best performance from him. I don't think he took a single penalty, and we were always on him like, Domi needs to be careful with his stick. He was more than careful with his stick. He was perfect with his stick, and he was perfect at the blue line in shutting down, again, possibly the best NHL player in the entire world in Eki. You know, multiple GWC champion for the Euro side of things, multiple ECL champion, and he couldn't get anything going.
It's like, Domi wasn't originally pegged to be a member of HREDs. Like, there was some controversy as to where he would go last season to where he would go this season. You talk about the acquisition of Villapoica, bringing him back into the fold, and could he still play at that top-notch level? There were some doubts, you know, how good is he going to be when you're replacing Yoki, who was the leading scorer last season? All these changes worked. It brought this team to a whole different level, and the celebration sin is just about ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see them outside, perhaps getting a few team pictures. Well, as close to team as possible. Obviously, FaZe, you know, in Sweden and everything. But I mean, this HRED's team, I mean, well deserving. I don't think we could say a more well deserving champion than these guys here. And good gracious, what else could be said? They were phenomenal, and everything came together and everything worked.
Absolutely. So, Sin, the trophy presentation here. An incredible job done to HREDs. I mean, what more can be said?
Yeah, and I think they're even getting some champagne kind of going here as we see the presentation to the captain, Benito, who accepts it. And there is the flare, of course, from the rest of his team. The confetti in the air. Yeah, I mean, not holding anything back there are HREDs, and looks like a beautiful evening there over there in Finland as well.
Yeah, I'm jealous of the still light at 10 p.m., all things considered, as you get the full screen look at the team here. Again, these guys, 10K or richer, 10K euros richer, of course. Not to mention the beautiful trophy, Sin, the Viaplay subscription. After an incredible journey that this season was, to pull off the final the way that they did, I got nothing. And they may have broken the trophy already in record time.
Well, hey, it's got to happen. I mean, they haven't even fully started the celebration. They've already dinged it up. I wouldn't expect anything else from the championship team here in HREDs. You know, might as well get the negatives out of the way early right there. And at this point, yeah, you can do whatever you want with it now.
Eat your heart out, Patrick Maroon. That's how you break a trophy in record time. As we get another team picture here. Again, it's a shame that FaZe cannot be there with the rest of the squad, but I mean, again, I'm still absolutely stunned at the turn of events here that we managed to see. Man, what more can you say? It's our job to have the words here, but for what this team just pulled off, just absolutely incredible. And again, for someone like Villapoica to make the move back to a top-notch team, for someone like Domi to finally get a move that he wanted and to have it work out like this. And for FaZe, Sin, let's talk about FaZe. 2 seasons in Elite. He has won Rookie of the Year, Goalie of the Year, and a championship in 2 seasons.
And yeah, and in the championship.
And he could still win Goalie of the Year this year as well. We still have to get to those voting results.
Yeah, so We'll get to those as soon as possible. As you can see, trophy presentation has concluded. The boys are happy, but yeah, if I wish we could have seen FaZe there, because you gotta imagine the hugs that he would get from his team for doing what he did. The kudos that he would have from Domi and King of Apes for making his job as easy as it was. The entire team, again, what it takes to win a championship is the entire team working as one. And again, H-Reds pretty much played mistake-free hockey over a period of 4 games is unheard of. Against a team like Philadelphia as well is simply unheard of. And well, I mean, what can be said? You can make an argument for every single player on H-Reds to be able to win that MVP, and you wouldn't be wrong for an argument of any of them. You simply wouldn't be wrong, because they were all phenomenal. And if you could give the entire MVP to the entire team, I mean, that's the best course of action here. But I don't envy, the voting process here, because no matter what, it's tough to be able to choose just one.
Absolutely. Again, there's just so much on the mind. The ramifications of what they just accomplished, how this affects everything heading into next season as well. Again, the dream of back-to-back titles for Philadelphia, to be the first team to ever do that, that is up in smoke. You talk about Nikki Dangles breaking the cover boy curse, the first person to be the face of a season to win the championship in that same year. I'm just still in absolute awe of what we witnessed. It's not every day that you see defending champions make it back, and to get just completely shut down. It is just a crazy thing to think about, Sin.
I mean, the journey of H-Reds has just been one of really awe. I mean, I think they came in 2 or 3 seasons ago. They make the playoffs. They look good. They don't make it as far. Last season, they make it, they beat Havu en route to the finals. Like, whoa, this team's making it interesting. Philadelphia sweeps them. Coming in this season, they sweep Philadelphia in return. They beat Havu again. This is a champion who was crowned champion by beating 2 former champions to get here. I mean, you can make an argument. This is the champion of champions here. They beat Havu, and then they beat Philadelphia. Those are 2 of the names in the ECL Elite. Everyone was saying, oh man, you're not going to have a different championship until these 2 teams completely break up.
Yeah.
H-Red said, nope, Chuck Testa, here we are, and we're here to stay. And they are now champions of the ECL Elite in convincing fashion.
I mean, again, for us to be here for the past few seasons, to see the evolution of the European scene, to be right here alongside the growth of NHL Gamer, and to see this go down this way, to have this play out where, like you said, the vast majority of people doubted any other team's ability to get the job done here. And for them to do that is just simply an incredible story. And again, what it means now for the future, in terms of, we have seen over the past few seasons a lot of shuffling. Teams have moved a lot of pieces around to try to make things work. Do the top 3 teams now stay the same? Interesting, of course, that now it's H-Reds, Philadelphia, Havu, I would say, in that particular order, of course. There's just the impact that this has moving forward.
Yeah,
is just incredible.
Yeah, so, and this is just going to send ripple effects throughout the entire division. I mean, we're going to see some definite changes. What you kind of almost wonder here is, do Phila make any changes? I mean, they were it's hard to imagine maybe that they do, but at the same right, you think back to Yippee Vaskala season where they were on top, they blew everyone out of the water, then they got upset in that first round. This isn't obviously quite to that level. And if you're looking at the Yippee Vaskala situation, you're thinking, okay, maybe we don't do anything drastic, because look what happened to them. You're not guaranteed to improve from moves made. I think Teemu fit in extremely well. Didn't have the numbers he wanted in the playoffs, but then again, I don't think anyone had the numbers that they wanted here in the finals for Philadelphia. And I mean, what else can be said? Sometimes, who knows what happened here? H-Reds just had themselves a series and they played perfect. And if you're Philadelphia, yeah, you got to be better. But at the same right, you just ran into a team that wasn't going to be denied, a defensive core that was going to shut you down at the blue line, and a goaltender that wasn't going to allow goals. And, well, here we are, 4-0 sweep for H-Reds.
It's the most shocking result we've ever seen. We've seen playoff upsets before. We've seen sweeps in the final before. It is the most shocking result that we have ever seen in this particular division. You see Nikki Daniels in chat, 1 goal allowed, nothing else to say, and that's true. All things considered, and I mean, again, just an incredible performance. There's just no way to. I'm still in a state of shock here. I mean, again, the result happened 15-20 minutes ago at this time now, and how could you have possibly expected this to go down? We are waiting to be able to set up an interview. Of course, it'll be King of Apes joining us on the call one more time. And again, a friendly reminder, we still have some awards to hand out here, naming our team of the season. Although, of course, it was a regular season award. I think we know the 6 players who would very much make up the playoff team of the season after an incredible performance like that. So again, looking to get that particular interview set up. Sin, I hope you have some questions in mind, because it's just, what else can you say other than, yeah, good job.
Yeah, it's just seeming like it was just more of the same out of HREDs, and they just continued to shut things down. But yeah, I'll try to figure something out. I'll muster some form of question and try to just wipe off the sheer amazement from my face and out of my mind, because I'm still, like you said, it's all inspiring, just the way they played and to be able to do what they did. And yeah, what else can you say?
Heading into that series, it's just incredible. Again, that video from F5 Penguin at the start, talking about the improvements in the defense for HREDs. And I don't think anybody could have expected it to be that apparent how well they've improved defensively. Just, again, absolutely ridiculous. So while we have time here, I think we might have time. Check in with our producer here in terms of whether or not we actually do have time to maybe throw to an award here. Although the interview might be ready, is the word. So hey, looks like we will be able to potentially get a word here with one, if not hopefully multiple champs, of course, that we have now. Again, HRED sweeping Philadelphia 4-0 in the finals. 10K euro richer. Of course, a lovely 6-month subscription to our friends at Viaplay as well. Friendly reminder here, of course, with Viaplay, we've been giving away codes in chat. Not sure if all those codes are out, but keep an eye out there for the Finns. And, of course, also for the Finns, our friend at Wilhelm running their country-wide street hockey tournament, sthockey.com. For more information there, of course, if you register as a team, use code Wilhelm for 50% off your registration fee. Sin, again, just a few seconds away here from this. Wish we could be there one of the days. You know, we'll be able to get back to lands. We'll get over there, get to enjoy the lovely sun at 10 p.m. It'll be a good time. And again, to have that atmosphere there, to at least have the ability to have the teams be together for a moment like this as well, certainly added to it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're feeling the energy here, I'm getting chills during the intro segments, chills to see what they were able to do, and just chills thinking about it, what Domi was able to do, and King of Apes FaZe, the entire HRED squad. I mean, just imagine being on site and just feeling the sheer electricity in the building. I mean, just can't wait till we sort of get back to those sort of times here. But yeah, hopefully the interview will be getting set up pretty quickly.
Indeed. So again, looking forward to hearing from that. Sin, we'll throw here while we look to get that set up. There was a video that we were able to show off yesterday. We'll show it off again once more, and hopefully when we're back, we'll have that interview set up. So stick with us, everybody.
It is possible that you've heard this phrase before. If you don't put down that game console, it's going to rot your brain. For many, this was the common line heard from our parents growing up. And while some rolled their eyes and dismissed the warning, others took it as a challenge. And it's those players that, while they didn't quite know it yet, wanted to be elite. Why they picked up those controllers, why they chose to play their games may vary, but whether it was a Sega Genesis or Nintendo cartridge, or a disc that they slid into a PlayStation or Xbox. They all shared a common desire to play. Some played after coming home from a practice at the rink. Some played after just shooting it around with their friends outside. Others played to escape. And even more played to connect with others online.
Bravo! Here's Dominoiti. Flyer.
So for those of you that persisted, those that do it for the camaraderie, the teamwork, the championships,
Linköping have won it all!
to those who drilled their dangles, surmised their snipes, and solidified their sellies. Whether a seasoned veteran or a freshly drafted rookie, the stonewalled goaltender or the lauded superstar, it's to you we tap our sticks for leaving it all on the virtual ice because you wanted to be part of something bigger, and you helped us grow it to these incredible new heights. And as we further blend the worlds of virtual and traditional hockey, it's now your time to be elite.
Again, Sin. H-Red's very much elite. King of Apes, the boys behind him joining us here now. Look at that trophy. Congratulations to you all. That was, and I mentioned this to you yesterday, buddy, that was the best performance we had seen through 3 games of a series. And I think I could speak for Sin as well. That was the most dominant performance Sin and I have ever seen in a series. You guys just set the bar to a whole new level. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Sin,
I
was going to say,
yeah.
feel free.
Yeah, I just want to start out by once again, I mean, what can you say kind of about yourself and Domi? Just being able to shut down on that blue line time and time again. I mean, it was inspiring to watch. I mean, what changed almost seemingly from series to series, from the semifinals to now? You were just able to shut down Philadelphia. I mean, what kind of changed in your mentality there on the blue line?
I don't think we changed anything. Like me and Domi are just that good at the moment. It feels pretty easy to play with Domi, and I think it shows on the ice that seems like we are kind of hard to defeat.
I mean, it's not every day someone can say that they had Eki and Playmaker in their back pocket through a 4-game series, but you guys can certainly say that. In terms of the communications as well, you guys were very, very focused. You didn't want the trophy in the building through the first 3 games as well. That mentality, how important was that for you guys to just stay focused? Because I don't know if you saw, but heading into that series, you guys know how Philadelphia are. They kind of kept it light. Their demeanor certainly changed after the first 3 games heading into the action today. How important was that level of focus for you guys to make sure that you were on point instead of, maybe joking around a little bit and keeping it light?
I think it's really helped us to win this series. The third games that, we just have to focus and, what can I say? It's helped us a lot and,
All right, now, obviously, FaZe can't be there with you guys, but, I mean, hopefully he's out there watching. He's there in spirit, obviously, and he helped you guys in such an immense way. Only 1 goal allowed the entire series. If he was there right now, what would you be doing, and what would you say to him?
Amazing job. Like, against Fila, 1 goal allowed. It's so unbelievable. Like, really, I have few words for that. Like, so probably just cheering with us, and
And how great is it too that for you and Benito, obviously you guys have played this game together for a really long time, and you guys bring Villapoika back into the mix. How great is it for you guys as a trio, especially, to be back in a championship position after some time of not playing in the ECL together?
Well, when me, Vilva, and Pena have played together, we haven't lost a single tournament. So it's kind of it's special. Like, we have a good ice chemistry, and I think it shows.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to direct a question kind of about your journey to get to this point here. A couple seasons ago, you were sort of a backup player. You were playing lefty as well. You only played a few games for H-Reds, but you looked good in that. The next season, you jump on the scene, you get the most points for defenseman. This season, here you are winning the championship. How has that journey been for you as a player?
Well, it was difficult when I was in the army, and I just played where I could and what teams needed. So, yeah, but yeah, it's kind of nice that turning to in the defender is like it was not that great at the moment at the beginning, but I think I'm pretty good at it at this point. But yeah.
Again, good stuff there. I'm not sure if we're going to have Nikki step in here for a couple of...
I think Pena will come.
I was going to say, whoever wants to step in, we would be happy to hear from them. As the Captain Benito looks to step up here. Excited to see how this goes as well. Yeah. So, again, Captain Benito joining us this time out. Champion of the ECL Elite Division. How does that sound to you after what you guys just pulled off?
Yeah, it's just awesome. It has been a long time since I won ECLs. It's definitely.
Now, in terms of, and I wanted to ask you specifically about this, your thoughts on Game 2, because you just took over, scored 4 unanswered goals, including a shorthanded goal. Has your confidence level ever been higher after scoring 4 goals in a game against Philadelphia in a championship final?
I mean, I always try to be at my best level, and you know, I guess in Game 2 everything just worked out, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it throughout the course of the season. Perhaps this season more than any, we saw centers especially being able to contribute more and more offensively, and as well as still keep the amazing shutdown that you guys have gotten. How much help has, you know, having Villapoika and Nicky Dangles on the wing and how much they've improved defensively allowed you also to kind of focus a bit more on helping out offensively?
Yeah, it's definitely a big help, and you know, they make my game so much easier, and you know, it's just a big thing to have them aside me.
In terms too of the moves you guys made this offseason, we did see the regular season award handed out for like the best transfer, and that did go to Laminans of Färjestad. But in terms of the moves that you guys made, especially you as the captain, I mean, again, bringing back Villapoika into the fold, but picking up Domi, and of course, especially picking up FaZe between the pipes. The logic behind those moves, and I'm guessing it worked out the way that you wanted it to.
Yeah, it was mostly me and King of Apes who wanted to get Domi and Villu to our team, and big thanks to Havu Gaming for letting the Domi come to us, and no, it's it's just everything worked out.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, I mean, we asked King of Apes this. I'm gonna have to ask you, you know, as the captain, how happy are you with FaZe's performance, jumping in not only throughout the course of the season, but through these finals? Did you kind of expect this sort of level of performance from him, or did he, you know, kind of exceed all of your expectations?
Yeah, I expected that from him, and he's like one of the best goalies in the whole world. So it's not a surprise that he played like he played.
Now, the final question I think we have here for you, so we can let you guys go and celebrate this championship. We always tend to ask the winning team, you know, in the chat, once a series is over, people always say, "Oh, I think this guy was the team MVP." We always like to hear from the team themselves. Last year it was Kape, understandably. Who would you guys name as your team MVP? Who was the most important player here? Because for Sin and I, we can't decide. I mean, you yourself, you had 8 points in 4 games. Domi and King of Apes were, for these 4 games, the 2 best defenders in the world, and then FaZe allowed 1 goal in 4 games. How can you possibly name a team MVP? But we're going to put that pressure on you.
I don't really know. Everyone played at their best level, and no, it just was a team effort from start to end.
So we'll give it to Nikki because of the white shirt. He's looking real fancy for today's occasion. Then done and dusted, decided.
Well, what's up with that? Nikki, playing by his own rules over there with that white shirt. Did he miss the memo? I know he's a younger guy, maybe slept in a bit and missed the memo to put on that H-Red shirt.
Yeah, I think you have to ask him about that.
All right, well, we'll ask you before we let you head out. What are you guys going to do as a team to celebrate? And what are you going to do with some of that prize money?
We're just going to party and enjoy this moment. And, the prize money probably will go to more drinks or something like that.
It's a good way to handle it. Again, thank you very much for joining us here. We very much appreciate it. Congratulations on a phenomenal season. Sin and I mentioned it on the broadcast a few minutes ago. A few years ago, you guys really started to make that push as a top club, and we said, watch out for these guys. And you got close, fell a little bit short. You got real close last year, and to see you guys get better and better as a team has been incredible to watch. So thank you guys, and again, congrats on an amazing season.
Thank you.
All right, Sin. So we will throw it back here again. A big thank you to the boys from H-Reds for joining us there for that quick moment. Again, just a simply stunning performance in this final. Lord knows we could go on and on about that hours and hours on end. We do still have some things to attend to here, but Sin, your thoughts after hearing from both King of Apes and Benito there?
I mean, just that's what, championship team kind of embodies in my mind. They can't choose an MVP either because they know they're all working to the same goal, and they know and they believe that each of them played their best hockey of possibly their lives right there, and it shows with that 4-0 victory. But I guess if we have that poll ready, we can see at least what chat thought about who should be that H-Reds MVP, and I know we got some other awards to get to as well for the ECL season.
That we do. So again, we'll be back after a very brief word from our sponsors still to come before we end this broadcast and this season. Top forward, top defender, top goaltender, and the team of the season from the regular season at least to be announced. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Markov tekee maalin!
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
All right, everybody, we are back again. Thank you very much for sticking with us here. H-Reds pulling off the sweep over Philadelphia. Again, a couple quick things to mention. A shout out to our friends at Viaplay who have been giving away codes in the chat, of course, for the Finns in attendance. And, of course, handing as well some subscriptions to our champions, of course, in H-Reds. Kouvolan Lakritsi for sticking with us this season. And, of course, Wilhelm returned this year. And a big, big thank you to them, of course, sthockey.com for the Finns in chat. Of course, they are holding a country-wide tournament, a street hockey tournament. And if you want to enter your team, use code Wilhelm to get 50% off the entry fee. So make sure to check that out. Sin, as we look to wrap up this particular broadcast, again, as mentioned, we always conduct polls taken by the players themselves. We want to find out who the players think happen to be the best. And of course, we've already had 4 awards handed out, and it is now time to figure out who made it into the team of the season. And we are going to start off with the player who was voted as the top forward by his peers from this past regular season. And in terms of the voting, no surprise, pretty close. Just 2% of the vote separated the top two players. But a big drum roll, please, for the man who was voted as the top forward in Season 12. His name happens to be, well, Sin, it was Eki. And again, Benito finished second, Nikki Dangles third, Villapoika fourth. So to show you the opinion of, again, the players themselves, Eki had an absolutely phenomenal season, and again, as we talk about it, wins the GWC, makes it to the final here of this championship run. It shows just what an impressive performance it was and why we're still so stunned that they were able to shut down Philadelphia the way they were, because again, when the players themselves say Eki was the best, and he scored their only goal, it shows just how good H-Reds was. But again, a phenomenal season for Eki.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, year in, year out, he is one of the top players, if not at the top of the mountain. And yeah, a great year once again, just terrific winger, can score, can pass, can forecheck, can backcheck, is incredible defensively. And I mean, that's what it takes to be, the top skater here in the ECL. You got to do everything well.
Now, of course, again, we'll run through these now here to finish these awards. And we also have our top defender, of course, as well here. Top defender for the regular season. And it's interesting to see how this played out because, again, in terms of the top transfer, the top acquisition, it was Laminens for Färjestad. And in terms of top defender here, looking at the numbers, ultimately, it was not close. Second place had 7% of the vote. This man won Defender of the Year with a very, very nice 69% of the vote. An absolute landslide. Never seen a landslide like it. It was the transfer of the year. Laminens winning Defender of the Year, according to his peers here in the Elite Division.
I mean, exceedingly hard to argue that. He came in and was an absolute game changer for Färjestad. They looked like, this team could make it a big four at times, and Laminens a huge, huge reason because of that. Obviously coming in with the existing chemistry with Antonio, and he put up a phenomenal amount of points, led the way, and again, terrific with and without the puck.
And again, the voting takes place upon the conclusion of the regular season. Loimu in second, Domi in third. I think after this performance here, Domi has a few more eyes on him heading in to next season. And Sim, we get to our top goaltender of the year as well. A very, very interesting set of circumstances for this particular award here because we saw some phenomenal performances across the board. Sin, I will note as well, we had asked Benito who H-Red's team MVP would be. We just got word that indeed Benito was voted by his teammates as the playoff MVP. So the captain taking that home. Again, he had 4 goals, 4 assists in 4 games. So for Benito here, again, what an incredible season that was. And for the goaltenders as well, certainly H-Red's netminder FaZe was in the running for top goalie. He won it last year as well as Rookie of the Year, but he had some very strong competition from Kape, from the duo of Havu, Hanselinho, and Sibelius as well. Guys like Roysto and Bennu also up there in terms of the voting. But Sin, who won top goaltender? You dare ask? Who won top goaltender for season 12? Well, that answer would be this man right here, and it's Kape. Which again, Sin, it's so bittersweet for Philadelphia to see Eki voted top forward, Kape voted top goaltender again by the players in the Elite Division, but it just shows how good Kape was this season and the reputation that he earned throughout the 30-game regular season.
Yeah, incredibly hard to argue with it. I mean, and he was consistent throughout the regular season and the playoffs as well. I mean, he had an almost 87 save percentage throughout the course of the regular season, and he sort of maintained that with the mid-80s save percentage in the playoffs. And even against H-Reds, besides that kind of, big letdown in game 2, he was still great. I mean, he only allowed a few goals besides that, and they were being hemmed in quite a bit. So yeah, Kape, an incredible goaltender, obviously, and voted the best this season.
Worth noting, Kape, 29% of the vote, FaZe 13, and then tied at 12%. Hanselino and Sibelius tied for third there for Havu. So go figure, of course, they were a pure tandem this season. So then that brings us to showing you guys the team of the season, of course. You know Eki's in it. The other top 2 forwards from the voting also made it. The top 2 defenders, and of course, Kape, the starting goaltender there. So we wanted to do something new this season in terms of showing off the team of the year again, as voted on by the players. So indeed, the top 3 forwards, of course, as mentioned, it was Eki, Nicky Dangles, and Benito. Of course, Laminen's Loimu, the top 2 vote getters on defense, and Kape between the pipes. So a decent presence, of course, for Philadelphia and H-Reds, the top 2 teams. And then again, Laminen's also up there as well.
Yeah, and if you had to have a backup goalie, you would choose FaZe, so they'd have equal representation. Yeah. And how perfect would that be to have that in the case there? And of course, excited to see what Layman is able to bring to the table and how Färjestad will improve here. I mean, we're mentioning it every season. That top 2 is now a top 3. Can it become a big 4 here with Färjestad making some strides, or will there be another team, perhaps a young up and coming Goons, who want to make some waves?
Then it's always incredibly bittersweet. It seems like it just starts. You get into what I won't deem a slog, but you get into the run, and then by the end of this marathon, you're like, yeah, the break would be nice. But then every time we've hit this point, it's the end of our final broadcast of the season, and then it hits you that the Elite Division is going away for a little bit. Season 13, though, we will be back. We will see what H-Reds can do in terms of making things happen, trying to be that first team to go back-to-back, but needless to say, Philadelphia, the Havus of the world, and like you mentioned, FBK, Goons, there are some phenomenal teams that are going to continue to push these top teams to have to be even better at what they do. We will shout out, of course, one more time our friends at Viaplay, Kovalan, Lakritzi, and Wilhelm. And again, a friendly reminder that just because the Elite Division is going away and this ECL season is done does not mean we are done with things here at NHL Gamer. Again, signups for the Finnish Championship side of things and the Swedish Championship side of things are up right now. Again, NHLgamer.com, 1v1 and 6s game modes available again for the Finns, that 10k euro prize pool, and of course for the Swedes as well, the equivalent of it, the 100k Swedish crowns up for grabs. Of course, one of the long-standing traditions here at NHL Gamer, of course, not only the ECL, but the Swedish and Finnish championships. A tremendous opportunity to see some of these teams end up intermingling, so to speak. You can see some of the best of Philadelphia, Havu, and H-Reds play on the same teams as a result of this. Love keeping track of that. And of course, it's not the only thing going on at NHLgamer.com. Of course, signups also up right now for the Western European Championship side of things as well. There's just so much as we here continue to grow, and it's been incredible, and we thank you all very much for being with us here as this continues to just get bigger and better. And Solheim mentioned it in the chat. Hopefully as well, next season, season 13, maybe, just maybe, will be the time. LAN events could be possible again for the final. Lord knows Sin and I are chomping at the bit to be able to get over there and experience that as well. After Sin, I think this concludes our 3rd or 4th season here already, which time certainly flies.
4th season, yeah, because we saw Havu one, we saw Philadelphia one, and or his first, then Philadelphia, then Havu, then Philadelphia, and now H-Reds. Yeah, our 4th season. It's hard to imagine that it's been that long, but at the same time, it's been, a heck of a ride here, and enjoyed every minute of course, with you, of course, with everyone here at NHL Gamer, and the players and the teams. Just you won't find just some of the most talented and nicest guys really on these teams as well. Just a pleasure to work with everyone.
Again, for the players that help make this happen, it can't be understated how important it is to have player cooperation to help make a broadcast like this happen. Makes it so much easier for the guys behind the scene. And again, Sin and I, we get to be the faces of this, but in terms of the broadcast, the work that goes into it is absolutely unreal. And we have had the pleasure of working with some incredibly talented people who have been able to showcase skills all season long, of course, whether it be the video production side of things, the graphic side of things. It's been absolutely incredible. Sin, again, it's always bittersweet. We want to sit here and just talk to keep the season going, but Season 12, again, has come to a close. We thank you all very much for sticking with us this season. Very intrigued, of course, to see what happens now moving into the future. You can find Sin on Twitter, of course, as you see on your screen, at SinFTWProd, and on YouTube at Symphony Productions. I am virtually everywhere at Tugi24, YouTube, Twitch, and everything else. Sin, one final look at the bracket here. We said earlier at the start of this, it was the last time we would see the bracket without seeing a team at the end. The journey is complete. H-Reds crowned champions of the Elite Division for the first time. And just what does that mean moving forward here in the ECL Elite Division? We will find out. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us this season. We will see you all very, very soon. Good night, and congratulations to H-Reds, again, champions of the Elite Division.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Marko tekee maalin! Sebastian ja tekee sen maalin!
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.